pulled the Burano out of the truck. I'm going to go back to the FX9 as my primary camera because there's some weather, rain potential, and I have a form-fitting rain cover that fits the FX9 with the 28-135 kit zoom, and also our sunrise setup on the last series of assignments. The sun is rising and reflecting in camera and kicking off the pond. I did not have my 17-120 matte box with me. It was sitting here on the shelf in the garage. So this one's got the eyebrow built in, and if we're gonna run and return again, I mounted a second OC monitor off the matte box, and my 17-120 clip-on matte box doesn't have a 1/4-20 receiver on the top. So this is, one less battery, monitor, and stand to have to set up multiple times a day under the lens. So we'll try this out on the next go, see how it runs. I think this camera is about the same size lengthwise as Burano 17-120. Still refining the viewfinder setup on the Burano, and I'd forgotten how much more flimsy the FX9 mount is. It certainly is. Like this, always battling viewfinder sag. Come on, Sony, get the viewfinder brackets figured out on your mid-range cameras. The broadcast cameras are solid and have been for like 30 years, eyepieces. Why is it such a nightmare of implementation on all the mid-range gear? All right, I'm late on this week's vlog due to the Thanksgiving holiday. I just kept running out of time and couldn't get to the edit. And then I was on the road for a project you'll see coming up in an upcoming vlog. And I tried to edit in the hotel room each night, but I was just too tired and burnt out to narrate and sound coherent. So last 2 days, shot on the FX9. Same locations I was covering for staff photographer that was out on vacation. Well, like the rest of you, have been inundated with Black Friday gear offers, things on sale. I want to pick up a few anamorphic lenses, and I was looking at the Blazar Remus B set, 6 lenses with the 33 mil. I think it was like $3,500, normally maybe $1,000 more. 1.5x, and I almost purchased them, but I don't have any clients specifically requesting anamorphic. Although I've got 2 projects coming up next year where I know I can shoot anamorphic if I have them. So there's no urgency there to purchase them. And this March, there'll be a firmware release for the Burano that will include I forget if it's 3x2 or 4x3 scan and capture area in Super 35. So it won't be full open gate, full frame. But if there's a 4x3 or 3x2 option in Super 35, 1.5x is not the optimum magnification. I think it would be a 2x. So I'm going to wait. We'll see how it goes. And now there's some autofocus anamorphic options, but those are in 1.33. So I guess those will be good on the FX3 running on the gimbal. So for my award show, that's like 3rd and 4th quarter of next year, maybe I'll pick up like a 5 and a 35. The Zune B500 Cob light, still in play. Now use this on several projects since Zune sent it over for me for free in exchange for a review. Really happy with the light. I'm running it off the inverter on my van, and I've got a screenshot of how many watts it was pulling. On this day, we ran everything at 40% intensity. We're out in the sun, but we're in the shade under the trees, and I have a silk cutting what little dappled sunlight was leaking through onto the correspondent's head and shoulders. So 40% intensity, and we're spotted in on that aperture Fresnel lens, just a little bit more than full wide. I like running the Fresnel because in a situation like this, the shadow quality is a little friendlier on a face versus an intensifier dish. And if I put a softbox on there with diffusion, it would just eat up too much of the light's output. And having the ability to spot in to just cover the area that's on camera means it can run the light at a lesser intensity, drawing less power. That's a big factor for me running the Aperture 300Ds off my gold mount batteries. I'm trying to extend how much runtime I can get on batteries. I've had them click off in the middle of hits in the past. So did you pick up any equipment or special deals in the last week and a half? If so, let me know what you bought and why in the comments below.
Yeah, that's right, Adrian. And now Denver, Mike Johnson is now facing scrutiny on those comments when it comes to deportations. This all comes...
We had a few hours of live hits, and then we also sent in a look live in case they wanted to take the story on any other shows where we're not scheduled to be live. Then we're on break for a few hours. So here in the edit, I thought it'd be interesting to time out how long it takes Beck and I to load the gear back in the van. We'll call that 8 minutes, 30 seconds. So we're off for a few hours, and then we return to the same location. So how long does it take to set up? A little bit different lighting setup now because our next hit will be close to sunset. So I can cover everything with just LED panel lights. So I think we put one Astra out there to light up the trees in the background. And then I'm running my old Neewer panels for key and fill, and a third Neewer panel armed out on a C-stand as a kind of standard shoulder glow, soft, non-directional backlight. Knocked out a few more one-on-one consultation calls this past week, all different and all productive, and it's been a lot of benefit for me that I hadn't considered offering that. It's really fascinating to see all the different verticals to this business and how people that are watching these types of vlogs are not doing what I'm doing. And it's also very encouraging to see that each person I've talked to, they're making a comfortable living. They're doing well. I thought I would get people reaching out that are struggling, first starting out, and it hasn't been the case. It's been more people my age and older. One's got a full-time career in an unrelated field, and they're going to transition in the next couple of years. They've been shooting video and photography on the side. Another is a career, long-time still photographer, venturing a little bit into video, following the demands and requests of their existing clients. And then the third is a longtime friend of mine. We've worked together for many years, based in Los Angeles, who's like a working DP on high-level projects, owns high-level kit, making more money than me, doing really well, but I was still, because I've got another decade in the business, I think able to offer some valuable insight on how to navigate finances, investing, and just health preservation decisions.
From Tapachula, Mexico, that's in the southern border of Mexico, and are headed now to the U.S. border. Migrants say they are anticipating stricter immigration policies under a incoming Trump administration, and say they are desperate to cross now. Now, my Mexican sources tell
Yeah, Natasha, we're learning that around 1,500 migrants from Central and South America have formed a new large migrant caravan from Tapachula, Mexico, and are headed to the U.S.-Mexico border. And
all right, coming down.
When's it hit?
25 past.
National Criminal Court for Benjamin Netanyahu and for also the former Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant on war crimes charges. Obviously, the Netanyahu has received
that this new migrant caravan, around 1,500 migrants from Central South America, has formed in Tapachula, Mexico, and are now headed to the U.S. border. Several migrant caravans have actually formed under Mexico.